Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com. Today's topic, we got a little trend update with the happenings going on in Israel and the Gaza Strip. Day 4, Swords of Iron. We're going to reintroduce Burden of Damascus. It's been a while since we've talked about that, but that's clearly on the table with some of the events that have taken place this past day. Have the American response to all of this. And this happened. I didn't hear a whole lot of chatter about it, no chatter about it on the mainstream media. Baltic Connect gas line has been tampered with, and this is a big deal. Pretty much gas flow from Finland to Europe through Estonia. So we're going to talk about that briefly, and Russia is suspected to be messing with it. We'll get into that. But here's an operational update from the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, Day 4, War on Hamas. Best as they can tell, and this was from October 10 p.m. Israel time. That would make it about 2 p.m. Central time here in the United States. As best as they can tell, 50 confirmed hostages or missing, 1,000 plus Israelis killed, 2,800 plus Israelis injured. They estimate 4,500 rockets fired from Gaza, and the IDF has targeted 2,294 targets have been struck inside of Gaza. So, and again, that's per the Israel Defense Forces. And the tweet below, however, is how Iranian leadership celebrates the events in the Holy Land. This is from Jason Brodsky, and he makes a pretty good statement here. This is a sixth celebration of the deaths in Israel from the Islamic Republic's government newspaper. So this is Iran state media, pro-terrorism. Telegram. Telegram's kind of the last, or one of the last, free bastions of social media. And it's Russian, of all things. They let a lot of things go. But the bottom line is Iran has been glorifying the murder and humiliation of Jews 24/7 in recent days. Anti-Semitism at its core. And so here it is. They're celebrating 1,000 Jewish deaths. Isn't that lovely and wonderful? That's what we're dealing with. And to all you pacifists out there, you need to get a grip. And if you think you can reason with this, you need to reevaluate that. There's no appeasing these people. You can't give them money. You can't talk to them. Oh, if I could just talk to them. If I could just talk to them, things would be better. Then they'd understand. No, they don't understand. So when they tell you they want to kill you, and when they tell Israel they want to shove them into the sea, they mean it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, these are people celebrating death of just innocent civilians, babies, kids, women. It is what it is. I don't, and this is from Vibhuti Singh. I don't know Mr. Singh, but he pretty well sums this up pretty well. We'll go up here to his tweet. Brutality of Hamas terrorists. More than 900 Israeli citizens brutally butchered, raping women, dragging their bodies on the road. And that's the thing, too, with a lot of these terrorists. They will take their victims' cell phones. One person will film what another terrorist is doing to a victim and then post it on the victim's social media page. So, I mean, imagine, somebody is being raped and it's being filmed, or they're dead and their body is being filmed thrown recklessly onto a vehicle, like a little pickup, paraded it around the city or inside the Gaza Strip. They have burned people, women, children alive. They got video of that, pictures of that. They are beheading babies, killing citizens from America, Germany, Nepal, and several other countries. kidnapping women and children, taking them to Gaza. They're filming all this stuff. I mean, this is what we're dealing with, and they got the video to prove it. So there's no doubt that this is what's taking place. But this is what we're dealing with. It's evil. And for those of you who want to deny evil, you need to get a grip. It's going on. And with that, we're going to transition to Revelation 20, verse 4. Then I saw thrones, and seated on them were those to whom the authority to judge was committed. Also, I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded for the testimony of Jesus and for the word of God, and those who had not worshipped the beast or its image and had not received its mark on their foreheads or their hands. They came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. Now, we're not there. We're not there. And I'm of the opinion the tribulation has not yet started. But these current events, they don't place humanity in the 7-year tribulation. And it's the context of Revelation 20 is towards the end of the tribulation. But with everything we're seeing, I mean, if you got a group of people, a group of terrorisms, Hamas, it's not a stretch to see a future time when people are beheaded for their belief in Christ. Hamas and these other terrorists are willing to behead a group of people, babies, children, because they're infidels as they see it. And there's so much hatred. I know. Let's go behead some babies. For crying out loud. Don't kid yourself. There will be a time when the same thing will happen to those who believe in Christ and believe in who he is. That, there will be elements of humanity that will want to silence that, and they'll behead them. And I remember some of the movies that used to depict this. They had all these nice, neat little guillotines, and that may happen. I don't dismiss that, but right now, with what we're seeing here in October of 2023 in Israel near the Gaza Strip, it's pretty crude how they go about beheading somebody. At any rate. And this is from Jason Brodsky again. Had some really good stuff out. Not good stuff, but good content, good information. Babies, their heads cut off. This horror is brought to you by Iran-funded Hamas attack in Israel. Khamenei said just this morning, we kiss the hands of those who planned the attacks. Remember, the Iranian people have been calling the IRGC their ISIS. Highly recommend watching this video. It's not graphic. It's from I-24 News out of Israel, and this is Nicole Zedek. She reports from the kibbutz Kfar Aza, about a quarter mile from the Gaza border. And while she's doing this, there are still missiles exploding nearby. Quarter of a mile, 440 yards, not very far from where this took place, recounts the atrocities that were committed in the small community, which remains an active scene as soldiers clear booby traps and recover the bodies of dozens of victims. And I've seen some of this stuff too, where you got these folks from Hamas coming in to a house, shoot their dogs, walk into the house, tie people up, go through the house, go through the kitchen, go through the fridge, take food, drink, eat some things, drink some things, then go find some oil, start pouring oil all over the place and set the house on fire. Leave the people tied up in there to die, just burn alive, or shoot them, or whatever they want to do. And they record this stuff. If you're a little squeamish and don't like to see graphic violence, don't watch this stuff. But it is happening. But it's about a 3-minute report. And she's clearly shaken. Some of the soldiers are clearly upset with what they're seeing. This is from another tweet or Azit, Joe Truzman, Israel Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, I have given an order. Gaza will be under complete closure. There will be no electricity, food, or fuel delivered to Gaza. We are fighting barbaric terrorists implied, and we will respond accordingly. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, they cut off water as well. And so the best example is, so this is, Gaza is about the size of the Detroit metropolitan. So imagine that, just an area that big being fenced in, closed off. And you're sitting in the dark, no power, no food, no water, and you got nothing but bombs going off all around you in the dark. Pretty much what's taking place there. Burden of Damascus. This is very interesting. And again, it's been a while since we've talked about this on the post. Going back to 2011, when the Syrian civil war started, spring of 2011, the Arab Spring. We're going to hit the scripture first. Isaiah 17, verse 1, the oracle concerning Damascus. Behold, Damascus is about to be removed from being a city and will become a fallen ruin. And specifically, if we look at the original Hebrew, Damascus is going to be wiped out. The grammar states it's going to be taken away and removed. One could state it will be a ruined ruin or a ruined heap. Isaiah 17:9 I find very fascinating. In that day their strong cities will be like the deserted places of the wooded heights and the hilltops, which they are deserted because of the children of Israel. And there will be desolation. And the source of this is the children of Israel. Okay? I guarantee you, here in 2023, these are the children of Israel. Lastly, Jeremiah 49, verse 27, and I will kindle a fire in the wall of Damascus, and it shall devour the strongholds of Ben-Hadad. So Syria, again, has been in civil war since the spring of 2011. And one of the claims of fame, Damascus is the oldest continually inhabited city on the planet. So for over 5,000 years, people have been living in Damascus. It's been uninterrupted. At some point, that will come to an end. And, we're going to get into that in just a second, why, hey, this is on the table. But if you want to go back, I've got stuff going back, I think, going on 10 years now. Burden of Damascus. Things escalated. Well, it's clearly on the table right now. Click on this link, and there's a whole bunch of articles going back over 10 years regarding, essentially what has brought us to this point. And it started in earnest in the spring of 2011 with Bashar al-Assad fighting for power, retaining power. He's still there, which is fascinating. He's made it. Now, there are rumors he has left town and is in hiding because of the following. This is from Israel Radar. Israeli warning to Hezbollah, IDF will destroy Damascus. Target Syrian President Assad if Hezbollah joins the war. Remember, Hezbollah is primarily in Lebanon, proxy of Iran, and they've been using Syria as a conduit to get Iranian implements of, tools of terrorism, weapons, if you will, to Hezbollah in Lebanon. U.S. warships will support Israel in the war, and that was communicated to French diplomats and French press from Israel. So, you guys want to get frisky? Israel says they will take out Damascus. And I suspect it will look pretty much like Isaiah 17 and Jeremiah 49 says. And if that happens, Oh, wow. Prophetically, man, that opens a door for Ezekiel 38 and 39. And you look at the conditions of Ezekiel 38 and 39, and it makes you wonder if we're on the verge of watching something so horrific happening to Damascus. Just, they nuke it, wipe it off the face of the earth. And people are like, okay, Israel, that's enough. You've gone too far. And the whole world turns on them. And they're isolated. Now, for right now, they're not isolated. The United States and many other countries are coming to their aid. But if something like this were to happen, and the world would consider, okay, now you're over the top, you're on your own. That's just pure conjecture on my part, but that's very plausible. IDF instructs Israelis to prepare for 3-day stay in bomb shelters, secure rooms, ensure supply of food, water, battery run devices in case power is down. And the point being, this is clear indication of imminent escalation into larger war. So they're already fighting on one front down south. Here's the link to the article that talks about the destruction of Damascus. Click here if you want to read that. Really not a whole lot to it. And it would appear we got some activity, and this again is from the IDF, Israel Defense Forces, in response to the rockets launched from Lebanon at Israel. A short while ago, IDF tanks struck 2 observation posts belonging to Hezbollah, and it was like a glorified it's just a system of ladders. It was like scaffolding, and just they were shooting stuff from the top of this scaffolding, and they're not anymore. Somehow the flag ended up standing, which was kind of interesting. But IDF is prepared for all scenarios in all arenas and will continue to operate in order to protect Israeli civilians. And they're telling people, if you think you want to try to come at us from 2 or 3 fronts, we're prepared for it. And so we had that from Lebanon, and then, 3 in the afternoon this afternoon, Central Time, IDF soldiers are responding with artillery and mortar shells toward the origin of launching in Syria. So there are missiles coming out of Syria. So Lebanon, Syria, I mean, this is showing signs of escalation to the point that, again, it's consolidating Ezekiel's gang, specifically Russia, President Putin, Turkey's Recep Erdogan. Hey, by the way, they're letting the world know. We had a little phone conversation about this today. And this was released. Click on this link here. This is what it looks like. This is from the Daily Sabah, which is Turkish press, state-run media out of Turkey. It's what they want you to hear. Discuss Israel-Palestine tensions, humanitarian aid. Of course, a couple of humanitarians talking. Erdogan's called the UN. General Antonio Guterres. Okay, thank you. 2 leaders. What in the world? These advertisements. We'll get through it here in just a second. Oh, big mistake. Just made a mistake. Sorry. Trying to keep you from reading all this stuff. Measures to prevent a spread of tensions, according to the Presidential Communications Directorate. They talked about it. Just letting y'all know they talked about it. Earlier Tuesday, Erdogan harshly criticized Israel for targeting civilian settlements, hospitals, and houses of worship in the blockaded Gaza Strip. I thought they were buddies. When Erdogan thought he could get a little cut of the gas, he wanted to suck up to Israel. Be a toll booth, make a couple bucks on Israeli gas. Well, don't like it right now. Turkey does not welcome such a move. Don't you like how they renamed or respelled their country? Thank you. And he's upset about it. U.S. shot down a Turkish drone in Syria. So he got one of his drones, which Turkey is one of the world's, Turkey and Iran are two of the world's biggest drone producers. And U.S. shot down a Turkish drone in Syria when it's suitable for them. We are NATO allies. Well, where's Erdogan been? Claims now he wants to be a NATO ally, but before he's cozying up to Putin, threatening to leave NATO, holding a couple of admissions to NATO hostage because, he thinks those Scandinavian states are harboring terrorists. Yeah, a lot of terrorism up there in the Great White North of Europe. Unfortunately, U.S. is currently training and arming all terrorist groups and turning Syria and the Middle East into a bloodbath. Well, he fights terrorism, by the way. And if you disagree with him, you're a terrorist. It's pretty well how he defines it. This guy has been a wild card for years and will continue to be one. And he's in an interesting geographic location. Claims to be a member of NATO, but sucks up to Russia. Russia wants to eventually, at some point, they're going to want to come down into the Middle East, and they're going to want to go through Turkey to make that happen, or the Bosphorus Straits. So it will matter. I'm frankly still waiting for Russia and Turkey to become greater allies for the Ezekiel 38-39 scenario to take place. And who knows, this may be what facilitates that or gets that ball rolling a little stronger. So definitely worth watching. This thing's in Turkish. So if you understand their language, go ahead and listen. Otherwise, I don't have a clue. Uncle Sam, United States, is on the move. President of the United States, Joe Biden, has released a statement from the White House announcing that at least 11 Americans are now confirmed to have been killed as a result of the Hamas surprise attack on southern Israel. And again, reiterating the United States will defend its citizens is what that's. Here's the communication. I'm not going to read the whole thing. He stumbled out there today after he shut her down yesterday on Monday at about 11 o'clock Eastern. He was done yesterday at 11. Came out, got him all rested up. Who knows what he's full of to make the statement today? But he got her done. And with that, aid, first plane with American ammunition, landed in Israel. A plane carrying advanced ammunition landed at night at the Nebatim base. Ammunition is designed to allow significant blows in preparation for additional scenarios. We are grateful for the American backing and assistance to the IDF in particular and to the state of Israel in general during this challenging period. Our common enemies know that the cooperation between the armies is stronger than ever and is a key part of ensuring security and regional stability, and that's per an IDF spokesperson. So, and I think I saw Biden was requested $2 billion in aid from Congress. The United States continues to spend money we don't have. That's a whole nother discussion. We are in one tight spot in the United States. Whole bunch of reasons why, but we're not going to get into that here. The USS Gerald R. Ford has arrived, along with its striker group, in the Eastern Mediterranean. Sailors, stand watch. Ready to go. Here we go. Per X. Here are the pictures. We're there. They're ready. Also from Crisis Watch, another bad news for Turkey and Hamas, and the U.S. Navy is going to start deployment of its USS Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group from Naval Station in Norfolk this week. This aircraft carrier will be stationed in the Eastern Mediterranean as a replacement for the Gerald R. Ford carrier. Now, if you think they're going to replace them, I got another thing coming for you. They're both going to be there. And this is why I think that. And I confirmed this from multiple sources. U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division, famously known as the Screaming Eagles, is set to deploy in Jordan. I think they're in Romania right now. Per the tweet, estimated to be about 30,000 troops. We got American GIs entering the Middle East. A lot of potential action stationed in the Middle East. Here we go, would appear. And then this happened. Nobody's talking about this. I saw this first thing this morning. This is from Visegrad, news agency out of Europe, Eastern Europe. Gas pipeline Baltic Connector between Finland and Estonia has started leaking. Finland launches probe on the premise of criminal sabotage. Finnish newspaper, I'm not even going to try to say it, writes Finnish officials are convinced that Russia has attacked the pipeline. This was a developing story as of this morning of October 10, 2023. Give you a little bit of feedback as to where that is. We'll go up here to Google Maps. Give you a better feel for where we're talking. Let's get, I went too far. Let's get Moscow right there. But we're talking in this area right here. So effectively, this is gas flow to Europe, Western Europe, most of Europe, from the Scandinavian countries. Finland's president, Niinisto, says the damage is done to both the Baltic Connector gas pipeline and a communication cable connecting Finland with Estonia are the result of, quote, external activity. As a reminder, Finland is a NATO member state, so you mess with one, you get them all. Breaking news later in the day on the 10th, Russian survey vessel Sibiryakov was conducting, quote, underwater activities in the Baltic Connector pipeline throughout the summer. Now there's a hole in the pipeline. Now Finland suspects Russia has attacked its critical infrastructure. Again, another reminder, NATO is a member state. Twice now they've told us that. Here's a picture of the Sibiryakov class. It's a survey vessel deployed to the Gulf of Finland. Third time this year. According to ship surface observation reports transmitted by the vessel, operates very close to the gas pipeline Baltic Connector and power cables connecting Estonia and Finland. So I guess that'd be electricity services probably. Presumably conducted underwater activities from May 30th to June 4th, August 3rd through the 14th, September 5th through the 7th. So that's quite a bit for one day or two. We also have, as a reminder, a pending ground invasion. And I suppose the thing that strikes me today is United States is bringing a lot of stuff to the theater. And I think Iran would like nothing more than to drag as many as possible into all this mess. And what currently starts out now is like a little regional thing in and around Gaza, spreads to Lebanon, spreads to Syria, spreads to Iran, and then all their proxies get involved, including Russia, Turkey, and then Israel, the United States, and the West. And people are asking, hey, we need to be careful, rein this thing in. We don't want it spreading. And it's a bit sobering and surreal to sit here and, is this possible? Well, yeah, it's possible. And, talking with the family tonight, I think we are watching our world change. And if Damascus gets wiped out, the door for Ezekiel 38:39 flies wide open. Wide open. And especially if Israel acts in a way that the world thinks, hey, you've gone too far with what you've done to Damascus. And then they have nobody at their side. As the world would see it, their actions would be inexcusable. So, again, that's just conjecture on my part, but it's plausible. It makes sense. And that's the thing, too. I get feedback from lots of people who watch these, read these, listen to this stuff. And there are lots of plausible things that people think about, scenarios they talk about, and it makes sense. And, we can sit here and talk about all these and then how God has it viewed from the past. Of course, he's across all time. That still hurts my head just to understand that notion that he's as much as he was 10 minutes ago, 100 years ago, as he is 20 years from now, and that he is across time. It's like looking down on a parade. He knows where it starts and where it ends, if you view time as a timeline. So at any rate, appreciate you guys watching. Definitely will be following up with more information as it becomes available. And stay tuned, making a good faith effort here to try to get out some good information to everybody. Take care. Bye.